All right. Hey, welcome back. This is Scott Talks, and I'm with Mike Collins. Mike, if you're looking at this on YouTube, it's the sugar-free man, and that is on your wall behind you, right? That's not on the screen.
Right.
That's some
That's on the
commitment.
wall. That's on the wall.
um, and we're joining Mike after a conversation with Laura about sugar addiction and living sugar-free, obviously. And I want to say it was an amazingly informative conversation. Um, And, I think it's one of those things that people think are hyperbolic in the world, and I think you broke it down in some ways that made me realize, unfortunately, realize that I need to look at closer at some things. Real quick, Mike, tell me a little bit about, just in a real short summary, what made you quit? And then when you did finally quit, what made you want to help other people quit sugar?
Well, the second part of that question is really super interesting. But as I told Laura, when I got sober, I literally went right back to sugar.
Mm,
And the name of our podcast was The Gateway Drug. And I do believe that psychologically, mentally, brain reward chemically, sugar is the original gateway drug. We learn to manage our emotions by using sugar. Our parents sadly sometimes did it to us, where they give us a cookie and send us to the TV. And
yeah.
so as we mature, what happened to me is I literally, after I got sober, went right back to the sugar and used it obsessively with caffeine and sugar and flour. I didn't really eat any real food. It was all, fake food, powdery kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And so I had acne and bleeding gums and rosacea, and I was lethargic and tired. And it just started to model the same addiction that I just come out of. All right. And
Did somebody
so,
speak to you and say, "Hey, maybe you should look at your sugar consumption," or
no, I read a book. I read a book called Sugar Blues by William Duffy, who
all
was
right.
at one point married to Gloria Swanson, the famous movie star. And it just tripped a trigger in me. First the history lesson in there of
Hmm.
sugar, the history of sugar, and then the food part and the getting healthy part.
All of what you talked about with Laura. So you guys definitely go back to the podcast, and
Definitely.
Mike, you can hear Mike and Laura talk about that in detail. Let me ask you, what made you want to pass this on? Like when you had this experience, and I'm going to ask you a little bit about the detox too, because I found that to be very interesting. But
Okay.
once you were past the detox and once you began to experience some change, what motivated you to want to help other people?
Well, yeah, like Laura and I talked about, I used my own children as guinea pig and raised them sugar free. And they said, my whole life, they said, Dad, enough. We don't want to hear about it. Write a book or something. And so I did.
What you did.
And so, but I was kind of semi retired about 6 or 7 years ago. And I decided that, this is what I wanted to do. And it's amazing to me. It's a really strange phenomenon. I have 12 coaches these days who help help people as well.
Mm,
And every one of them came through the system. I have 2 emails in my box right now of people who have been through our system who want to help others. It really is a kind of a strange phenomena that you just want to help others when you get to the other side. And so, and I
that's
don't
pretty
think,
cool.
yeah, I'm not alone in this. It's just, it's, as I told Laura, excuse me, it's hard for me to see overweight children. It's just difficult to watch poor kids who don't shop. Now we're talking 4 or 5, 6 years old,
Oh,
7.
I know, man. I see it every day. I actually just heard that the FDA is now recommended for kids who are overweight, by 11 and 12, to recommend surgery for kids. And
Oh,
you're saying, hey, let's recondition people's relationship with food and
yes.
sugar, primarily begin with sugar. But the FDA, in an effort to because this is so widespread and such a big deal, is recommending surgery for 12-year-olds.
It's breaking my heart, just
Ah,
breaking my heart. It's just killing me because, we've seen it in children as well, of some of my coaches' kids and what have you, that you just take away the sugar and that the problem solves itself, literally. And that happens with adults as well. I don't know that I can think of one group who actually gave me themselves really abstinence for any amount of time that didn't fall to their normal size weight. That just happens. Like, you don't even have to exercise. This is not
Interesting.
rocket science to me anymore. This has happened so many times. We put so many type 2 diabetes and diabetics in remission. This is very real, and the message needs to get out that, the sugar is the cause, not the, it's not just aggravating the symptoms.
Yeah. Well, it's a tough battle when grandma gave you cookies when you were upset, and when your mom, made brownies. We got together and made cakes, and
Yeah,
it's an integral piece of fabric of our culture. And I think
so
it is
true.
it's starting to catch up with us in a way that, like you said, it's frightful. Real quick, what is your 30-day detox? You have a book called Last Resort Sugar Detox Guide. It's
Yeah.
free in an Audible session, but you can also buy it on Amazon. But give me a little, just a little outlook of what that 30-day program might look like for somebody who's curious.
Yeah, I mean, at sugaraddiction.com, you can check it out. But basically, I come into your inbox every day for 30 days with a video between 10 and 20 minutes, and I walk you through the whole process. Part of the thing that people do in this is that they get a little nervous on days 5 and 6 and 7 because, man, the withdrawals are tough. It's like
It's
mental,
uncomfortable.
physical. Yeah, you're in rough shape, and you think there's something wrong with me. I'm sick. I'm this. I run off and get pills or do whatever, but you don't really need to. And if you have a guide through it who's helped thousands of people do it, it's just easier. So that's what it is. But more importantly, there's an infrastructure there that has two, almost three now meetings a day, but two meetings every single day of the week, some days three meetings a day, that they can plug into, ask questions about, and feel like they're not alone in this. Because most of the time, people, like, you quit smoking. All right, good job. You quit drinking. Oh, great, that's excellent. Congratulations. You quit using sugar, and people are like, what?
What's
What?
wrong with you?
Huh? What's wrong with you? Like, you need
Yeah,
sugar. And so people need this. Well, we're tribe animals. People need this support. They do. They genuinely need, because you are an outlier in today's society.
sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I had that same reaction when I went plant-based about 2 months into it. I had a withdrawal from, I guess, from animal protein for the most part.
Sure.
And I was told about this as I was going through it. Oh yeah, you'll go through that. And I felt sick for about 5 days. Felt like I had the chills, and nobody told
Yep.
me. And until I started inquiring. But yeah, the thing to think about is and this went through my head at the time, was this has been a part of my system for my whole life. It's been part of
Right.
my biochemistry for as long as, who knows, before I can remember. And the
In the
body is not,
womb.
yeah, the body is not going to react kindly to that change. But let's
Right.
talk a little bit real quick about a few of the things that maybe somebody experiences on the other side of a detox. Like what you talked about, the brain working a little better. How about this dealing with your emotions with active dopamine? I found that to be a really
Yeah,
interesting
this is really the
concept.
core of our work. That's really the core of our work. Is people think that this is a diet, an exercise plan, a food plan of some kind. It can't. That's the furthest thing from the truth. This is a substance use disorder, and substance use disorder recovery is a process of regaining your natural relationship with your own emotional states.
Mm,
People don't realize that they use, I mean, they call it comfort food for a reason. When was the last time you
right?
saw a movie where a woman got dumped by her boyfriend and didn't have an ice cream party with her girlfriends? This is
Yeah,
a cultural phenomena that when someone has hurt, worry, pain, fear, anxiety, they use sugar to quell that. But in reality, it's actually, that's exactly what's happening, that people don't realize, and it doesn't get any respect as being powerful enough to tamp down those feelings, right? But we take a little cocaine, we take a little heroin, we take a little alcohol, but we are pounding 30 teaspoons of this stuff a day through our systems. And if you that's average. A Coke has 12.
that's so much. I'm
Like
just
it,
picturing spoonful after spoonful.
right. If you got
I
any
feel
habit at
ill.
all, you're up at 40 and 50 teaspoons a day,
Wow.
right? So it's just, and really it just alters every brain reward chemical. This is all proven science, by the way. I'm not making this stuff up as something. This is all proven science. Dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, GABA, adrenals, cannabinoid receptors, oxytocin, the bonding chemical, how mothers bond with their babies, is
I mean, this
all
is,
interrupted by
yeah.
sugar.
Real quick, I wanted to clarify. You're 34 years off sugar, 36,
32. My boys are 32. They're
32.
twins, and I got off sugar. I couldn't tell you the date. I can tell you my sobriety date, but I can't tell you exactly
Nah,
what day I got off sugar.
that's great. The last thing I'll say is real quick, maybe give us a little idea of some of the places where sugar is hiding in society today. Where am I going to consume some sugar that I'm not really sure? Like I didn't eat any candy, but maybe I had some ketchup from McDonald's. So, like, are
Oh
there
yeah,
some places that I got to watch out for?
ketchup for sure. Here's the big one people really freak out about: salt. They take
Oh,
the McDonald's salt little shake, the little paper thing, turn it
mm-hmm.
over and read it someday. It's dextrose in it. They call it an anti-caking agent, but in reality, it's really just putting sugar and salt. You
Yeah.
can't taste it, but you put enough of it, and then most lousy commercial salt has sugar in it. And that's just the beginning. I mean, mayonnaise, everything you can think of. Now, I think 84% of the products in the grocery store that come in a bag, a box, a can, they have sugar in them. And
Wow.
they know it. And this is like 20 years ago, that was like half that, less than half that number. And it happens because people like come back to it. That's why they sell more of it.
Yeah, I was thinking, I watched that Super Size Me years ago, and when
Oh yeah, that's good.
that guy started healthy and was pretty much going to die when he was done, and they said it was primarily sugar additives to the food to keep you coming back. And so I know
Yeah.
McDonald's is not the only brilliant producer of foods that's trying to get people to come back. And I
Mhm.
think we like to think, oh, I'm not eating ice cream today, or I'm not eating this, but we can consume sugar in a lot of ways that we don't
Oh
even
yeah,
know or don't even think about. And you
sure.
offer really good guidance, and you offer a team of people and a community, a tribe, as you call it, that can help people sort through this stuff so they can have more success with it. Huh?
Right.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. I really enjoyed it. And you can find Mike on Facebook. We have all of his stuff in our show notes, and also he's at is it what was the name of your site again? I'm sorry. Quit
Sugar
Sugar.
Sugaraddiction.com.
addiction,
Oh yeah,
sugaraddiction.com.
sugaraddiction.com. Mike, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thanks for
Mike.
having me, guys. This was just really exciting, and I really enjoyed myself. So thank you so much.
Me too.